Alright, so after talking about Sonic 2006, a lot of people probably think they already know where this is going. Oh cool, another video about bugs. Another rushed development rant. Another AAA bad thumbnail with red circles and arrows. Relax, we're not doing that today. Because here's the thing, bugs are annoying, nobody likes falling through the floor like it's Bethesda game from 2011, but bugs are not the real reason so many AAA games feel empty, confused, or just kind of there. The real problem is that AAA games are absolutely terrified of committing to anything. Wrong villain. Every time a big budget game flops, the internet immediately pulls out the same script. It was rushed! The developers didn't have enough time, the publisher forced it out early, and yeah, sometimes that's true, but rushing doesn't explain why so many AAA games feel like they were designed by someone constantly asking, okay, but what if someone doesn't like this? You can delay a game for 10 years. If the idea is confused, all you're doing is making a very expensive, confused game. That's not polish. That's just procrastination with better lighting. Sonic 2006 was a warning sign. Let's go back to Sonic the Hedgehog for a second. That game didn't just have bugs. It had a full-blown identity crisis. It wanted to be cinematic, it wanted to be serious, it wanted to reboot Sonic, it wanted to be classic Sonic, it wanted to flex new hardware. Basically, it wanted to be 5 different games, all fighting for control of the same controller. So instead of committing to one direction, it tried to please everyone. And shockingly, that didn't work. This wasn't just a Sonic problem, this was AAA development foreshadowing the future. Like a horror movie where you don't realize the first scene was the warning until it's too late. Design by committee. Modern AAA games are not made by vision, they're made by meetings. One team wants realism, another team wants accessibility, marketing wants mass appeal, executives want whatever made money last quarter. So every idea gets filled down until it's completely harmless. Not bold, not interesting, just won't cause a Twitter thread. That's how you end up with games that look incredible but feel like they were assembled from approved corporate parts. Nothing risky, nothing weird, nothing that makes you go, oh wow, they actually went for it. Why everything feels the same. Ever notice how so many AAA games share the exact same features? Light RPG mechanics, crafting systems nobody asked for, skill trees that boost damage by 3%, massive open worlds filled with things you will never remember. None of this stuff is bad on its own, but at this point it feels less like design and more like a checklist. Like, okay, where's the crafting? Where's the skill tree? Where's the map full of icons that all blur together? AAA games don't ask, does this fit our game? They ask, will Reddit yell at us if it's missing? And somehow that question controls million-dollar decisions. Bugs are a symptom. Here's the part that usually makes people uncomfortable. A lot of AAA bugs exist because the game keeps changing its mind halfway through development. Systems get rewritten, features get cut, brought back, cut again. Nothing is locked in early enough. So by the time the game is supposed to be polished, it's still asking, wait, what kind of game are we again? That's how you end up with massive budgets and launch day patches bigger than the game itself. Not because the developers are lazy, but because the project never had a backbone. Why older and smaller games feel confident. This isn't nostalgia. This is just confidence. Older games and smaller games usually know exactly who they're for. They don't explain everything. They don't hold your hand for 6 hours. They don't pause the game every 5 seconds to tell you how to walk forward. They just say, figure it out. And sometimes you fail, and sometimes it's rough, but at least it feels honest. AAA games are so afraid of confusing players that they end up boring them instead. AAA doesn't trust players. Modern AAA design seems convinced that players are extremely impatient, terrified of learning, one mild inconvenience away from uninstalling. So friction gets removed, the challenge gets softened, edges get rounded off, and what you're left with is a game that plays itself but still somehow takes 80 hours. A game that never pushes back its welcoming, it's just kind of there. Like a tutorial that never ends. Conclusion: the real problem. AAA games don't need bigger budgets. They don't need longer development cycles. They don't need more systems duct taped together. They need fewer voices, clearer direction, and the courage to say, this game isn't for everyone, and that's fine. Because the games people remember aren't perfect. They're confident. And until AAA studios relearn how to commit to an idea, we're going to keep getting massive, expensive games that feel weirdly empty, not broken, just afraid.